TrainLead, an inspirational, visionary, online training program for the educational leaders of tomorrow. In this video, 10 examples of innovation in education will be presented. The examples will mainly focus on 3 areas of innovation: innovation in the classroom, pedagogical practices; innovation in schools, work practices and resources; and innovation in external relations. Possibility for students to design their own experiments. Designing their own science experiments is one of the learning strategies for students to think as scientists and to get a deeper understanding of scientific phenomena. This pedagogical practice should be part of a mix of pedagogical practices in science and requires subtle guidance and feedback from teachers and peers. Scope for students to explain their ideas. Most education systems aimed to develop children's critical thinking, creativity, and communication skills. This requires teachers to give children enough room to express and explain their ideas and to be able to confront them with those of their peers. This active pedagogical practice should be part of the mix of learning activities, with teachers defining the right balance for their teaching and learning context. Explaining the relevance of science in everyday life. Students learn better science if they see the point of learning it. Relating the scientific concepts taught in class to the everyday life of children, or, more generally, showing the relevance of what is taught to everyday problems, makes science more attractive to them, and teaching and learning more effective. This good pedagogical practice should be as widespread as possible. Memorizing facts and procedures as a pedagogical technique. Memorizing facts, rules, and procedures is part of all learning strategies. Often associated with traditional and relatively teacher-centered approaches to teaching and learning, memorization should be seen as part of the mix of pedagogical practices that teachers should use. Good teachers will find the right balance with other, more active learning practices. An increase in these practices is often related to the existence of high-stakes exams or assessments in education systems. Using computer simulations for learning. One of the virtues of computers for learning lies in their power for simulations. They allow students to practice and to become experts in specific tasks without the real-life consequences of failure. So, playing simulations, or learning in simulated environments, is one of the good uses of computers for learning and an interesting pedagogical practice to follow, both in mathematics and other domains, although it will typically have to be supplemented with other practices too. Using computers to practice skills and procedures. Practice makes perfect. Part of the mastery of mathematics relies on implementing and practicing the procedural knowledge one has acquired. Whilst computers can now make complex calculations with perfect accuracy, part of this procedural knowledge allows students to understand how mathematicians think and assess how to address mathematical problems. This pedagogical practice needs to be supplemented by other pedagogical practices requiring more thinking from the student, but computers are a good medium for this kind of learning. Teacher collaboration in the form of peer observation. An important dimension of teacher professional development depends on their participation in professional learning communities or learning organisations. Teachers improve their professional practice by reflecting on good and bad practice and learning from each other. One professional practice that often contributes to this form of learning is the observation of other teachers in the teaching process. Availability of laptops or notebooks in schools. Digital technologies have mainly reached schools through the availability of computers, and technology is now increasingly seen as mobile thanks to the availability of portable devices. Whilst the availability of desktops has decreased over the past years, digitisation is reflected by the availability of other forms of computers. Laptops or notebooks are some of them. To produce good results, these devices need to support good pedagogical practice. Parental involvement in school activities. Parents play a key role in the successful education of their children. Their involvement in school activities helps to construct a positive dialogue with school teachers and administrators and a more personalised education and learning path for their children. It also facilitates their continuous interest in their children's school life and learning that contributes to better results. Development of students' critical thinking and problem solving. Fostering students' critical thinking and problem solving skills is one of the key educational objectives of curricula in most EU countries, and a key competency for students both for economic and social reasons. One condition for these innovation skills, or 21st century competencies to be taught and learnt, is that teachers understand how they could adjust their practice to this effect. Professional development is one of the ways for them to learn this. Innovation is not a positive performance in itself. Systems with poor educational performance may innovate more than systems with better results, as they are trying to improve their results. Whilst the effort is laudable, there is no guarantee that improvement will be achieved. Conversely, good systems may feel less pressure to innovate. They may also consider that their good performance allows them to take the risk of bold innovations. Thank you for watching.